take projection.
Welcome everybody to Taking on Sports. I am TD. That is Greg. Greg, how you doing, man?
I'm pretty good. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm tired. Been on the road a lot these past few weeks, but home now, at least for about 10 days before I go work a festival on the road. But I'm here. We got a lot to catch up on. First couple of weeks of college
A
football,
lot of football.
first NFL weekend. So let's get to it. Of course, y'all know during football season we always start with our Tide. So it has certainly been two different weekends for Kalen DeBoer's squad, man. Last night, of course, a 73-0 win over UL Monroe. Biggest shutout for the Tide since the 50s, I want to say. They beat Delta State like 80-something, 84-0 maybe. First time that they have scored 70 points since, I saw it earlier, it might actually been 1977 or something. They beat Virginia Tech 70-something to 3.
Yeah.
So offensively, everybody getting in. Austin Mack getting in the action. Keelan Russell getting in the action. A.K. Deer busting a big long run in garbage time.
Yeah.
But that's not really the performance we need to talk about. Last week, opening week, down in Tallahassee, we talked about in our Alabama preview. We really didn't know what to expect from this game.
Yeah.
But I don't think that we even thought about the possibility that we just get our ass whooped. And that is certainly what happened. Gus Malzahn using his tricks and reverses and running quarterbacks and motion and all kinds of stuff. And our defense just kind of looking unprepared and soft and not hustling. And one of the more frustrating performances really in a long time, Alabama, maybe even more so than a couple of those losses last year. But I don't. Where do you want to start with that, or with Alabama as a whole? Even if we are thinking about them as a 1-1 team, let's comparing last week to this week. Where do you want to start?
Well, I mean, I'm gonna start with the positive. I mean, yesterday was exactly what you wanted to see. Of course, we weren't gonna lose that game, but the effort, the attention, everything that was missing from week one seemed to be there. The excitement, completely different feeling from the players from the moment they came on the field. Um, but of course, now is how do we figure out how to do that consistently? We've seen moments of greatness, but we need consistency. I don't even need to win every game. I don't want to see effort every game. And there was little of any effort outside of Jeremy Bernard had a hell of a game in Tallahassee. Ty Simpson didn't have a great game, but he competed. Everybody else, I don't know what was going on. Honestly.
Yeah, it was certainly. I was talking to you before we started recording, but I watched that one. I was on a road trip to Boston with the family for Labor Day, and I watched that one in the passenger seat on my phone when my wife drove a leg. And I'm sure there was some cussing, and I couldn't really believe what I was seeing, and just especially when you'd catch the replays and guys jogging, guys not playing contain, just missing their assignments, getting run over, just looking soft. It just a frustrating thing to watch. And then on the offensive side, just an absolutely amazing first drive of the season. 16 plays, 75 yard, like 8-minute drive that ended in touchdown.
It looked amazing. I was like, man, is this how we're going to be? Is our offense going to look like this?
It was great. I mean, the very first play, we line up under center and hand the ball off. It was every Alabama fan's just, fever dream.
Dream.
And then after that, don't know what happened to the offense.
Yeah, I don't until like the fourth until it was kind of too late. I mean, I don't know. It's like they got scared to run plays, and I don't know. It's like they punt after they when they. It's like as soon as they scored off their first drive, it like deflated the whole team. I, you know, we had that long drive, scored, they answered right back, and it was just like, oh shit.
Yeah, and
But
it,
then, that didn't deter them. They're not worried. They're not, oh shit.
mhm.
We got punched in the mouth and never answered the bell after that. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, it was weird. It's like we punched them in the mouth to start, and then they
and
punched back, and it's like we didn't know what to do.
yeah, I was like, oh shit, they actually fought back. This is not the same Florida State team from a year ago. And
Yeah.
and the thing that else that frustrated me is just they everybody looked lost, like you said, especially on defense.
Hmm.
The thing is though, like we know Gus is a tricky guy, but you know what Gus does? It's nothing too earth shattering. He didn't even really run a whole bunch of crazy stuff, honestly. I've seen Gus do much crazier things than what he did. Um, and it's like, oh, wow, we act like we had never seen anything like that before. Act like they didn't have all summer to prepare for a Gus offense with a mobile quarterback. I don't know.
Yeah, it
It's
was
like,
weird. It was you have all off season. That was, and again, we hate to kind of compare it to Nick Saban because but that's what we're used to seeing, and that's just what's going to happen until you
uh,
give people a reason not to think about them. But the thing about those Saban teams and never losing, this is the first time Alabama lost its opener since 2001 against a UCLA team. Back when UCLA was good at football, if you can believe it or not, kids.
yeah, yeah, they
Uh,
were decent. They were really good.
yeah,
Yeah, those early late
but
'90s, early 2000s. Yeah, UCLA was a powerhouse. Huh.
yeah, yeah. Um, but the Saban teams always look so prepared in that first game. You could tell that we've been studying film for months, and that we
Yeah,
practiced for this game, and everything just looks so prepared. Um, Whereas this game just looked, just sloppy and we didn't have tape on this specific FSU team because new coordinator, a lot of new players transfer wise, but you
right.
can watch old Gus Malzahn's offense. You can expect what you're going to
He's
get.
not
Yeah,
right. He's not going to change his style.
yeah, you're going to get a lot of
He's been
misdirection
in
and
the
eye
game too
candy.
long to change his style
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
completely.
he
Yeah,
does not. Yeah, he does not adapt. He runs what he runs, and he's apparently found another perfect quarterback for the system.
exactly.
But they're all the staples, that little reverse. I can't believe they got away with it twice. Is that
Yeah,
yeah? But that reverse,
yeah,
he throws in stuff like that, all the motion, all the eye candy, the misdirection, and then some deep bombs. Jet route, a wheel
yeah.
route. Things that are just staples. If you've watched a Gus Malzahn offense, that it seemed like the defense had no idea was coming, or I don't know. It was just weird. And then on the other side of the ball, you talked about the great first
No,
drive and then just disappeared after that. And in the press conference afterwards, someone asked Kalen DeBoer why we went away from the run, and he said we weren't getting enough explosive plays. And that's, I mean, that first drive we averaged 5.5 yards a clip. So
I
those are going to
don't know
turn.
what else you want me to
Yeah,
get from it.
that's perfect from the run game, man. That's going to turn into longer runs, late in the game, and that's going to open up
Right.
for the play action, going over the top in the passing game. So
Absolutely.
yeah,
I feel
that's
like anytime you're getting 3+ like carry, you're doing your job. Because by third down, you're in short distance.
yeah. You just gotta keep
Run.
at it, and that's how
Worst
you.
case scenario, it's 3rd and 4 if you're getting three a carry. You know.
Yeah, exactly. Staying ahead of the sticks like that. Um. So yeah, it was just overall, it was a terrible way to start the season.
Yeah.
Eyes immediately on Kalen DeBoer. I joked to my friends.
Boy,
I
that
got
man had rough week.
Yeah, and
Wow.
I joked with my friend. I got the first Kalen DeBoer is an SEC caliber text midway through the second quarter. I was like, ooh,
Of course.
that's rough.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
there's a
that's
lot of fair criticism, of course.
there is. And then
Um,
there's outlandish stuff and
yeah,
it's
look, if we had come out and done this against UL Monroe, then yeah, okay, then we can talk about firing the guy. Uh, I do, he's still got
yeah,
you give him the season, obviously. I do think it's now changed with that
obviously.
loss, and it depends what else happens, but I think as of right now,
Right.
and this is a fluid status, your hot seat is fluid, but uh, I'd say as of right now, he needs to make the playoffs absolutely, and then make a run in the playoffs too. Not just it might
Yeah.
not be good enough to get there and then lose, especially if you lose like that in your first round game.
Right. Yeah. Can't get.
But again,
Like I said, I don't mind us losing games,
yeah, right, it's gonna
but
happen.
there's ways that you lose games.
Yeah, and that's not
If
it.
you lose a back and forth shootout and they just had the ball last, or you know, something like that, but to not be competitive in a game where they talk shit to you all summer,
Hmm.
you had all summer and spring to think about what happened in 2024, and that was supposed to motivate you into what was going to be a great 2025, and that's how we came out. That I was just shocked.
Hmm.
Just a lack of everything, energy, excitement, and and then they came back last week. But I guess that's my biggest concern with, and most people, I'm not a, I'm not nearly as hard on Kalen DeBoer as a lot of people. I think he's a great coach, but he has to figure out how to consistently get that same effort week to week. Of course, you're not going to be as motivated against, I don't know. We don't have a soft schedule, but if you're playing Mississippi State, you're not. This is a distant past because obviously State did a hell of a job yesterday. But
Hmm.
if you're playing Mississippi State or Georgia, you're going to have some differences.
Right.
But it can't be that night and day. But the thing is this was the first game of the season,
Hmm.
and usually that's when you're most excited.
Hmm.
You should be energized,
Hmm.
ready to go. You've been. This is what you've been building up for, and to come out like that was just shocking to me. It wasn't even if we had lost the game competitively, I wouldn't even be that mad.
Hmm.
But it was just how we looked. It was just ridiculous. I mean, kudos to Florida State. They talked the talk, walked the
Absolutely.
walk,
Absolutely.
looked amazing. And for us, the best thing, it sucks to say, because usually I'm the type of man, I hope they lose the rest of the games. But honestly, with how the playoffs go and the strength of schedule and losses, you hope Florida State continues to play like this the rest of the year,
Ye-
just because that makes it not look as bad. By if we're if we are you know if we're in a season 11-1, 10-2, and we're rolling by the end of the year, people aren't going to look at that bad if Florida State's the ACC champion.
yeah,
But
exactly. You kind of need them, not need, but definitely want them to go out and at least
look
get to
good
that
for the
title
rest of the year.
ACC title game for sure.
Right.
Yeah, and look like
But
this.
that's the
Yeah,
one thing you worry about with Gus Malzahn,
yeah.
because and that's why he's no longer at Auburn, because he shows up in certain games and they'll lose look terrible against the Weirdest. But that's more as a head coach. As
Yeah,
offensive coordinator, I don't know if he's really slacked as a coordinator.
yeah. It'd be interesting to see, if how that, that attitude carries over. If that offense can keep that momentum, I think as a Bama fan, you
they,
you hope Florida State does this to
they played
somebody
nobody
else
yesterday,
too.
but they put up a.
Yeah, 72
Yeah.
spot. Is that what it was? Yeah.
I mean, I mean, they could have easily not been as hyped this past week. I know they're playing. Man, what I would say is an generated school. I don't think I've ever heard of East Texas A&M, but they put up numbers, 70 some points. I mean, it
Yeah.
shows you, man, that offense might be somewhat legit.
Yeah, you just hope they do it to
They might have found
another.
what they've been missing.
Yeah, if you're an Alabama fan, you want to see them do that to like Clemson or somebody, somebody else big, and be like,
Right.
okay, see, it's them. It's not just us.
Yeah.
But like you said, we rebounded.
At this point, all we can worry about is what we can do, and
Exactly.
that
Yeah.
is
No, yeah, it's what we
we
did.
rebounded well,
73
but now
nothing.
we
Yeah.
have. And everybody's gonna say, "Well, UL Monroe," but still, that man Ty Simpson was perfect on the game.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I don't care who you're playing. That's impressive.
Yeah.
Still D1 football.
Yeah, in games like this, yeah, exactly. Obviously, a win's the first sport thing, but when a game against a program that's really struggling, like UL Monroe is right now,
How do you look?
exactly. It's
doing
about
it?
how you look, about your execution. Do you look crisp on offense? Do you look like you have a idea what you want to do? Are you hitting your marks? On defense, you want to see that hustle, that
We
toughness.
could have easily. I mean, exactly. We could have easily had a struggle 42. Where we
Yeah.
scored 42, but it looked shaky.
Yeah, with a turnover here or there, or too many punts, missing third downs, and you could also easily have given up some bullshit touchdowns on defense. I
Yeah.
think that was that thing I was happiest to see is defense come out and ferocious and swarming, got 3 turnovers,
Yeah.
and then got the shutout. I really, this is exactly what you wanted to see in this game. It's like, hey, do what you're not only do what you're supposed to do against a team like this, but look really, really good doing it, and they did.
Exactly.
So you hope that this gives them a little
And
bit of
that's
their
what it was
swagger
about.
back. Yeah. Reminds these guys like, hey, we're really good, we're really talented, we know what we're doing. We can do this against the best teams, is
Exactly.
not just the UL
Because
Monroes. Yeah.
exactly. And my other thing too is this: we have some of the more right, and I get it, but our fans are so spoiled
Yeah.
and just. But hopefully, everybody saw exactly the lows of how it can be after a loss like that in Tuscaloosa, and they don't want to go through that again.
Yeah.
Hopefully, everybody understands what that was.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
There's
if they thought last year was bad at times, it was
Ooh,
nothing.
they don't
It
know.
was nothing
Well,
like what people were talking about this week. I mean, they literally looked up that man number within the 70 million within like 10 seconds of the game going off. Everybody knew how much he had to pay off to get Kalen DeBoer out the contract.
yeah,
I mean, that was wild.
it is wild being an Alabama coach because you're gonna get it, especially in this day and age now. It's funny, we had Saban during kind of the onslaught of the social media era and the era of instant news and everything at our fingertips. When he took over in '07,
Yeah.
we weren't quite there yet. You had a couple things, a little Facebook, a little MySpace, but not like today.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It's nothing like
let's
it is
talk
now.
about that. Like expectations, perspective, and when Alabama loses, and you talked about it, if you're level headed and you've been an Alabama fan for life, not just a Saban fan, but an Alabama fan, you remember the era before him, the 3 Mikes,
Right.
Dennis
Yeah.
Francione, leaving us for Texas A&M,
I mean, that just shows you where we were at in the world that you would ever leave Alabama when nobody wanted you out.
Yeah.
That just shows you where we were at that
Mm-hmm.
point. Literally, nobody was like, "Oh, we want Franchoni out of there." Like
No,
it
yeah.
didn't seem like a problem.
Yeah, and it's funny because online reaction, everything when Alabama loses, it's everyone reacts. Everyone suddenly becomes
Of
diehard
course, I
fans of the
mean, that's
team
how
that it's
that's just the way of the world.
yeah, it is. It's funny. Florida State, everyone laughed at them last year, and then now this year, every week 1 they were America's darling.
Yeah,
But there's a funny thing that happens, at least on, online and stuff like that with fans, and you get to jawing, and there's this kind of narrative where some people, see Alabama fans' reactions and then go, "Whoop, see, you're telling on yourself. You're just a Saban fan. You don't know." Like before, Alabama was a mediocre program, and to me, that actually tells on themselves because that's just not true. And obviously, yes, you got to manage expectations as an Alabama fan. Nick Saban
Right.
was the coach of the greatest dynasty in the sport has ever seen. You can't expect that again with anybody else, for another 50 years, right? Until the next, once in a generation type coach comes along. So, but you got to remember too the situation that put Alabama in the three Mike's errors and the probation that really devastated the team. That's why Franchione left for A&M. Mike Price comes in, doesn't even coach a game, and his whole damn situation.
He didn't understand what the scrutiny that was on the SEC coach at all.
Exactly. Another guy from the Washington State, so Pacific Northwest, a Pac-10 guy back then.
Yeah.
Didn't understand, the level of
William Washington.
scrutiny even back then. Yeah, never coaches a game. Mike Shula takes over in the spring. He's never been a head coach before at that point. So that was
overall. I mean, despite everybody saying they hate Mike Shula, he got put in a tough situation.
the toughest situation any Alabama coach has ever had. Yeah, even when he got fired, the team that he got fired was over half just freshmen and sophomores. It was such an inexperienced young team that it was a little almost unfair to Shula to get fired.
But obviously,
for that.
we had to get to that point in order to get Saban.
Exactly, and so the difference is though where I was getting.
If he had more,
the people that think Alabama was a mediocre program with a once occasional national championship are obviously ignorant to the entire history of football. But the big difference is now.
Yeah.
Is that even before then, Alabama, the biggest thing Nick Saban did was get the boosters, get the school, get the fan base invested in the process and invested in committing to the program and building the resources necessary to be an elite program, making the expansions to Bryant-Denny, the new practice facilities, weight rooms, all of that stuff that, Alabama really led the way in because of Nick Saban. That is what makes this job different now for Kalen DeBoer than it was for, all of those guys post-Bear. They weren't just dealing, Ray Perkins, then Bill Curry. They weren't just dealing with being the guy after the guy. They were dealing with a different era. And Alabama back then, recruited and, off of its reputation as a blue blood, as, one of the premier programs. You went to Alabama because it was Alabama. And time evolves, and we get to a point where these kids, the recruits now, aren't necessarily going to a school, because of who they are. They're going because they want to get put in the pros. They want to, get exposure. They want to be prepared for, a possible professional career the best they can be. So they want the facilities. They want the teams that are going to be on TV a lot. They want the big-time coach.
Yeah.
And that's what Nick Saban changed about Alabama is he got them to commit to all that. So Kalen DeBoer's situation, he comes in. It's fair to, criticize Alabama fans for being unreasonable sometimes because we certainly can be. But it's also ignorant to say that Alabama is just regressing to the mean because Kalen DeBoer now, he comes in, as tough as it is to follow Nick Saban, he also comes in to a school with top-notch facilities, with boosters. We may not be Ohio State or Texas A&M rich, but, we're going to throw money at the program. We're going to commit to building a winning team, and, it's his job to put the finishing touch on that product, to steer the ship. So, Alabama is and will always be a blue blood. There's schools that are locked in. There will be new bloods. There will be schools that come and go. But Alabama is one of those programs that when you have the right coach in place, all the pieces are fitting, they're going to win a lot of games. Nebraska will get back to that one day. Maybe. Who knows? Maybe not. You can die off.
Maybe.
But if Nebraska gets the right coach, the right commitment from, their boosters, et cetera, they're going to win again. That's what the Blue Bloods do. I mean, look at Texas for so long struggling, and they got the right coach in there. And despite how, rough they looked in a loss, we can get to that. They're going to win a lot of games. So,
Right.
it's interesting after 2 weeks at Alabama, 1-1,
Yep.
with Wisconsin coming to town next week, a bye, and then the big game in Athens against Georgia, and that'll be really, we'll learn a little bit
That'll
more.
be kind of a litmus test to see where we're at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll certainly learn a little bit more against Wisconsin this week.
Well,
a little step up.
I
in
guess my
competition.
biggest gripe with the fans is the most annoying thing to me is everybody's like, "Oh, Nick Saban wouldn't have let this happen. Nick Saban wouldn't have let this happen." Nick, I get it, but at the same time, what you could do in 2011 and 2010,
Mm-hmm.
you can't do in 2025.
Yeah.
And people seem to forget by the end of Nick Saban's tenure, he had loosened up a lot. He realized changes had taken place, and he couldn't smack people on their ass like he did AJ McCarron back in 2010.
Mm-hmm.
shit doesn't fly anymore. He
Yeah.
knew that,
Yeah.
and he had changed his ways a little bit. As he got older, and and he had evolved. But everybody wants it to be 2011,
exactly.
2012, and that's just not a reality.
Mm-hmm.
And then also, everybody blames it on the social media. That's another thing. Every program does the TikTok dances. Every program has
Mm-hmm.
the social media presence. Everybody's on it. You find out how to win still. Georgia's on it. Ohio State, Texas. All the top programs do the same
Mm-hmm.
stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Figure out how to still be great despite that. You can't blame that because everybody's going through the same thing. You can say, oh, the NIL transfer portals, what's killing Alabama, social media. All programs are going through that same stuff. The great ones figure it out. That's our thing. That's my thing is like, dude, it's not like some of these older fans, even people our age. I'm like, bro, it's 2025. It's a different ball game. Like, you may not understand everything, but chill out, you know?
Mm-hmm. Sorry, I am speechless right now. DeAndre Hopkins doing exactly what the Ravens signed him to do.
Man, that was amazing.
One-handed touchdown
Amazing
catch. Guy, defensive back, holding his other arm, a dime from Lamar.
About as good as coverage as you could get in that situation. Yeah, just beautiful.
Oh man, D-Hop.
Wow.
Absolutely what the Ravens signed him. They don't need him to catch 13 balls a game like he used to. They need him to catch those balls and huge touchdowns.
Yeah.
The Ravens. Of course, their
That was
opener,
all.
big Sunday night game at Buffalo, and this offense has looked great tonight, man. Loving
Yeah,
it.
it has.
Up 34-19 now on the Bills as we're recording this in the third
Oof.
quarter.
Wow.
Oh man. No, yeah, you're absolutely right. Everything you said. A different era, and it's one at a time. Let's go out here. Let's beat shit out of Wisconsin. Let's on the bye week. Let's come in and look prepared against Georgia, because you know what? That was a great thing about last year's game in Tuscaloosa. Of course, just the ass whooping of a first half we had. It looked like we were like, oh my God, everyone marveled and talked about like, look how well prepared this team look. Kalen DeBoer got this team so ready for this game. So to see that against Florida State was shocking. Let's hope, it sucks that you need a wake-up call like that in the first game of the season. But if it is a wake-up call and we see, who knows? It's, hey, look.
I just want us to get the consistency. Every week, I just want to see I want to see the same effort, the same excitement. I don't even need to win. We don't, like I said, I don't need to see us win. We don't have to win every game.
No, yeah.
It's a struggle. When you have a lot of good teams on the schedule, it's going to be a lot of back and forth. But if these guys are competing, playing hard, and you don't see any letdown, no one jogging, people, you know, excited on the sideline, and there's a good atmosphere. That's all you can ask for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you know, some days it's just not your day, but
Yeah.
as long as that effort's there and everybody's competing, and we, you know, looks like we're prepared, then hey, that's all I can ask for as a fan.
Yeah, exactly. The two types of losses you're okay with as a fan, you know, afterwards, of course, not immediately, but you're okay. You
Yeah,
mentioned one of them. The it's just not our day. You know, the Johnny Manziel in 2012, the Ole Miss 2015 game. Those games were just these weird bounces and just crazy plays. And another, you know, hell, the Steven Garcia game where, you know, a guy that is an okay player all of a sudden looks like a first round prospect.
yeah,
You just
game
kind
of
of
his life.
afterwards you accept those. You get mad in the moment. Afterwards, you're like, well, hey man, them's a break sometimes, right?
What
And the
what
other
can you
kind of
do?
course is like the I guess the 16 title game with Clemson. You know well, hey man, we did everything we could to win that game, and we just got beat by the team that was better
Hell of
today.
a thing.
Yep, just
Yeah,
uh, and so if we go to Georgia and lose that game, we're okay with that. Of course, it'd be sucky to start out 2-2 at that point, but you
yeah. I
can
mean, if we
you can
have
bounce
like
back from that.
you
You know,
know,
there's plenty of time to bounce back from
right,
that. Yeah.
if it's like 27-24 classic is what it is, I guess. But you know, that's how I want to see. I just want to see consistency.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's been lacking. To show up at, and that was the biggest disappointment. I thought if anything, if it's a game we're going to show up, it's going to be this one because it's the first game of the year. Still a big name in Florida State, and that was my biggest takeaway from Week 1 is why did everybody look so unenthused, uninterested?
Mm-hmm.
Like they even came out on it. They didn't even look inspired when they came out. I was like, man. And he talked a lot this week, and he got annoying to me. But you know, AJ McCarron said he was at the game, and he said it was a weird vibe on the sideline. It kind of seemed that way, but dude, he talked a lot this past week. I was like, dude,
Mm-hmm.
chill out, AJ.
A lot of them former players came out after
Like he
that.
loves
Yeah.
to, yeah. But it's like I get it. But my thing is this: before you go out and just kill him on the your podcasts and how you make your money or whatever, do you? I hope that they at least reach out to the guys personally and be like, hey, bro,
Mm-hmm.
don't just don't just don't just kill the man on some. You know, he's had it back and forth with Ryan Williams, and I get it. I mean, there's obviously some things that you're wondering, but man, reach out to the man yourself and be like, man, what's going on before
Yeah.
you just kill him on social media.
Yeah, you hope as a
I don't
former
know.
player they reach out or on the side or at least be like, "Hey man, I got your back. I want you to succeed." You know, obviously I'm cheering for you as an Alabama player. You know, but
Right.
just know that like there's a standard that we believe in, and that's what I'm trying to hold you to. So I'm going to call you out. You know, that kind of common
Yeah.
courtesy. You know.
That's what I'm hoping. There's been some kind of connection before we just
Yeah.
have former players out there killing folks.
Yeah. Because yeah,
And man,
remember.
I get the frustrations, but
Yeah. Obviously. Yeah.
even then, like 2011, 2012, it was social media, but I mean, it wasn't like it is today.
No. But yeah. So that's where we're at. Like I said, Wisconsin's next. I honestly I
Wisconsin
haven't seen much of the Badgers yet this year.
haven't. They put up a big number yesterday. I mean, they wouldn't play anybody, but
Yeah,
bigger number than what you expect from Wisconsin as of late. They've struggled offensively, so
yeah,
I have to study up on them a little bit. Honestly, can't say I've
yeah.
watched them at all.
No,
Um,
yeah. Or I have been on the road a lot these past couple weekends, so I haven't really had a Saturday of just sitting down watching football yet. But
yeah,
we do know as we talked about in our preview, they getting away from the air raid, going to a more traditional, not quite super old school Wisconsin offense, but a more pro based concept with running
yeah,
the ball a lot more of an emphasis there. So
right.
we shall see. But let's rest of the country. Of course, the big game of week 1 was Texas Ohio State, and it was a defensive slugfest. Arch Manning did not look very
Both
good.
defenses look really good.
Yeah, both defenses look excellent. Ohio State wins 14-7. Other big week
The
1.
weird thing about that is
Yeah, go
people
ahead.
act. My one takeaway from that game is, I think we weren't that shocked by that because we were wondering, why everybody was so hyped on Arch, not exactly knowing what he was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Because it seemed like Texas fans were basically, man, if Arch played last year, we win a national title.
Yeah, and that's
Or a lot, not all Texas fans, but it seemed like there was a lot of people thought that. A lot of media seemed to think that.
mm-hmm.
Why is Quinn Ewers even the quarterback? Like, and then we kind of see why was the quarterback.
Exactly.
And then
Yeah.
again, Arch is a young dude. You look who he played at against last year. He played against the bad Mississippi State team,
Mm-hmm.
and he played what some I forget who the other game was, but he had two starts, but it was against lackluster performance. He had some plays against Georgia, but this is a huge, huge game.
Mm-hmm.
You're going into the horseshoe against the defending national champs, and they're a great team.
Mm-hmm.
The defense is always going to be good. I mean, and people, but the thing that killed me about that game was people acted like Texas lost by like 45.
Yeah. Right. They were, and
I was like, oh my gosh, Arch is terrible.
they got stopped
This
on a
Texas
couple.
team is, why were they ever number one?
Yeah, they got stuffed on a couple of
They
fourth
got
and
stopped
goals,
at
include a
one.
4th and 1. Yeah, like they were right there from tying or even winning that game.
Right. Exactly.
What's Steve Sarkisian left
Even
like
had the ball at the
9.
end.
Yeah, Steve Sarkisian left about 9 points out there with choosing to go for
Yeah.
it and take field goals at certain
Right.
spots. So, and then Ohio State, big time win over Grambling yesterday, 70-0. Texas bounced back, 38-7 win over San Jose State. So
Yeah.
we'll see. Long season. It's fun to overreact to week 1, but we gotta.
Right. But I was just like, dude, we act like the Tech. You would have thought Tech. If you did not watch that game at all and you just listened to talking heads and stuff, you would have thought that Texas went in and lost like 49-7 or something.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, dude, it was two great defenses, and things just didn't work out for Arch
Yeah.
that day. Obviously, he showed signs by the end of the game. I thought he came along a long way from the start of the game to the fourth quarter. Seemed a lot more confident by the end of the game. But
Mm-hmm.
things just didn't go their way. They got when they had that stuffed at the one, they get in that end zone there. It's a completely different ball game. And
Mm-hmm.
Sark is one of those dudes that likes to go for it. They take some risks there. But I think Texas is still going to be a hell of a team. Their defense is great. You would think that they're going to get better throughout. Wow,
Mm-hmm.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Um, they're gonna Arch is gonna keep getting better. The offense is gonna keep getting better, and by the end of the season, Texas is gonna be what many thought Texas is gonna be. Just not as easy, but going into the horseshoe and losing by 7 is hardly a terrible thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. That's it's funny. We talked about Alabama fans need perspective. Everybody needs perspective when you talk about that.
Exactly.
Yeah. Other big week 1 game. LSU goes into Clemson's Death Valley and beats them 17-10. Another defensive slugfest in that one. Another one where, maybe an offense didn't look as good as we thought they might be.
Or maybe it's just that LSU defense was just that good this year.
I'm going to say maybe that LSU defense is that good. A scary prospect for the rest of the SEC.
Yeah.
But then, they go out. Both teams kind of go out and struggle yesterday. LSU 23-7 winners over La Tech at home. And then Clemson 27-16 winners over Troy at home. And Troy led.
They were down 16-0, right?
Yeah, Troy led 16-0, 16-3 at halftime. Then a big third quarter, 17 points in third for Clemson, and then a touchdown in the fourth to seal it. But man, one of those where you're like, okay, guess we need to see
Yeah.
more of both of these teams. But
Right.
Clemson fans more worried for sure right now because they didn't look great
Yeah.
against LSU, and to
Yeah.
ooh,
Second half was very lackluster offensively against LSU. Like,
mm-hmm,
you expect more out of K Klubnik in those situations. He had some bad throws.
mm-hmm,
Um, and you gotta give credit to the LSU defense. They looked good, and then the clutch situation, Nussmeier, wasn't the prettiest game, but when it mattered the most, he did what needed to do, and that's what you want to see out of a veteran quarterback like that. So I mean, LSU exactly, they did exactly what they were supposed to do. Went in on a tough hostile environment and got a solid win.
mm-hmm.
Now we have I will see them play Florida Saturday. That'll be interesting considering what happened to the Gators. But
Yeah. Let's let's talk about it. A big week two. The big
yeah,
upset yesterday. USF goes into the swamp and wins on a last second field goal. And big interception, Kyle. What are you doing, man? What? Why? That's okay. Well, interception in the end zone on the 2 point attempt. Oh, that's why they're doing that. Made no sense to risk a fumble. That's right.
that
But
is usual.
yeah, USF. Week one, we should talk about the Bulls. Just whooped Boise State up and down the field
Whooped them.
at home in Tampa.
Yeah,
And everyone, we knew this team would be a better team for the American. What's the name? Byron Brown. Byron, right? Yeah.
yeah,
Big dude, big running. USF, they love to go fast on offense, but man, defensively, just dominating the Gators. I mean,
yeah.
offensively, just running on them, and they just a big long drive late in the fourth quarter after Florida took the lead. South Florida just takes it, drives it down, and kicks a chip shot field goal to win it.
Yeah.
And
They had some. The biggest thing I think is that really is going to hurt Billy Napier in this situation. The whole time is he has like these situations that happen. Where they're not disciplined. You had a spitting incident.
oh
You had
yeah,
the pass interference on the last drive. So you have some You're like, man. They had some things. You're
it's
like, man.
what's crazy. Billy Napier entered last season on the hottest of hot seats, and then has a really good
Yeah.
season against a tough schedule. All thing with a freshman quarterback, and you're like, okay, he's back off the hot seat coming in this year. And fans, he's got a little
Yeah.
leeway because they're like, yeah, that's another brutal schedule, man. So if we see that same effort and same improvement from last year, then you're fine. And then to go
Yeah.
out and do this,
Yeah. I
back
mean,
on
a
the
lot
hot
of
seat.
people, yeah. I think it just, maybe USF is just this good this year. I mean, we'll
Definitely
find out.
possible. Yep.
I mean, they play Miami this week. I mean, I mean, USF has had a hell of a schedule to start the season.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously, Boise State isn't the same Boise State they were a year ago, but going into the year, I mean, that's a big way to start your season.
Mm-hmm.
You know, especially for two mid majors, because the loser of that game to get back into that playoff hunt, you're already at a big disadvantage. So
Mm-hmm.
you already have that pressure that you go out and you dominate, beat the hell out of Boise State.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I wanted shit. Maybe Ashton Jitty should have won the Heisman. And then the thing yesterday is like really everybody's like, well, can they hang with Florida? And I think everybody thought, well, they'll hang for a little bit, but
Mm-hmm.
I think everybody expected, in the second half, Florida's just too good. They're going to pull away. The USF's improved, but there's no way in the swamp that they continue to hang, and they never went away. They were physical. They did everything. Basically, they did everything that they did against Alabama, except they finished the story this time.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
You know, They gave us everything we wanted in the 2 years in a row. But this time they finished the story
Mm-hmm.
in the swamp
Yeah. Uh,
against DJ Lagway, who looked very, very pedestrian. Um, you know, um, kind of, it was just shocker. But the USF, I mean, kudos. I mean, they had no fear for it at all. Were not
mhm.
intimidated, and they now they play Miami. And we'll find out. If this continues, that'd be crazy. That'd be one of the wildest starts to a season for a team of that stature. I mean, if you beat Boise State, Florida, and Miami 3 weeks in a row,
Ooh,
what else
yeah.
can you do?
I about to
You're
say
on top of the world.
if they do that, they almost put themselves in too much expectations on themselves because then any
Yeah.
loss the rest of their schedule would be like, what's up with
Like, how
that?
the hell did you lose after that?
But yeah, this
Yeah.
is certainly a team that definitely can threaten to be the group of five representing the playoff this year, and they'll certainly be tested in conference as well. They have to travel to Memphis, probably
Yeah.
the other favorite in the American, and a road game at Navy. That's always tricky. They got UTSA
Yeah.
still on the schedule, but
Uh-huh.
yeah, like you said, they're at Miami next week. But speaking of schedules, Florida, man, now all of a sudden at LSU next week, then they go at
Yeah.
Miami the following week, then Texas comes to the Swamp, and then at Texas A&M. Uh, you,
Yeah.
they could start 1-5, and that's
They could.
not a scary prospect or not a happy prospect for Gator fans.
No. And at that point, that man may not make it out of the month of October.
Yeah, exactly.
Uh, but it seems like that this is 2025 for a lot of teams. I think it's going to be a week by week scenario.
Mm-hmm.
I don't, outside of a few, I don't think it's going to be a lot of teams that look good every week. I mean, we've already seen it a lot. I mean, we've seen a Florida team struggle in week 2. We've seen Alabama struggle in week 1. We saw Clemson have 2 weeks of struggle. We saw a good week from LSU and then a struggle week.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't think there's going to be any consistency for the most part. Every week, you're going to wonder, if the right team shows up, hell yeah, they can win. The
Mm-hmm.
wrong team shows up, it could be a very long day. And I think we're going to see a lot of that this year. From this, that's
Yeah.
my takeaway from the first 2 weeks is there's a lot of unknowns still. A lot of teams that are good, that have potential to be good, but are they going to give you that effort every week?
Oh,
I think that's going to be the biggest
oh man.
takeaway from the season
Derrick
long
Henry
term.
just running all over the Bills tonight.
Oh,
King
this
Henry,
man,
man.
my goodness.
Oh man, yeah, yeah. We were talking about we're in the fantasy league. We were talking about in that chat earlier. It's one of those weekends where I'm
Yeah,
just like, you know what? I don't care. I'm going to lose week 1 because I'm playing. I got Josh Allen on my team, and I'm playing against Derrick Henry, and I'm like, I want my Ravens to win over my fantasy team. So
right, more than the fantasy. Yeah,
yeah, and Derrick Henry is just running all over them.
having my
Um,
goodness.
But yeah, no, yeah. This we talked about it in the previews that this college season was going to be wide
A wild
open.
one.
Missed the extra point. We knew it was going, the most wide open national title race in a long time. We knew there was potential for a lot of chaos, and we've gotten it so far.
Yeah,
The Florida State win over
they
Alabama,
have been.
this USF win, then later in the night, Arizona State going to Starkville, and Mississippi State winning on a late bomb.
And kudos to those guys
Yeah,
and that fan base. They've been through a lot in the last couple of seasons.
they have. They deserved that. That was they deserved that
That was
seed.
awesome.
Yeah.
They deserved it because man, honestly, when Arizona State went ahead off that field goal, I was like, well, damn.
Yeah. Yeah.
They was 17-0. They let them back in the game.
Mm-hmm.
They gave a hell of an effort, but you just thought, man, they're just going to come up a little bit short.
Mm-hmm.
And that sucks because you want to see them get that win.
Mm-hmm.
And then boom. hit that long, was almost 60-yard pass.
Yeah.
Game time. Beautiful.
Yeah, I was in Atlanta this weekend. My wife and I go with her brother and his wife to a Braves game every year. So we went this weekend, and she is a state grad, my brother-in-law's wife. So we got back from the Braves game late, and then we literally caught like the ending on the hotel bar TV.
No.
And it was funny because during the game, of course, we're checking the score, and during the Braves game, and she's looking. They get up 17-0. She's excited, like, oh my god, and then it's funny. She just kept joking all the time. It's like, oh, we're gonna blow it, so it doesn't matter. It's fine, it's fine. Like just that realization sitting in. Then we get to the bar right
Yeah.
in time for Arizona State to score, and she's like, well, at least we played good, and then boom, yeah, a few plays later, just like, oh my god, like,
This is gonna happen.
yeah,
It's happening.
like what the hell, like this bomb. So good for them. Not a good loss for Arizona State, but they
No, not,
they have a chance to rebound. They haven't even
yeah,
started, Big 12 play yet. But speaking of Big
exactly.
12 teams, that's a team that has really looked good over the first few weeks of the season now. Iowa State, um,
Yeah,
had the week 0 win against Kansas State. And then this week they win the Battle of the Cyhawk. They beat Iowa. A close game,
yeah.
as that one usually is,
As
but
always,
that's
it was ugly.
yeah, ugly.
It
It's always
was
ugly,
16
and
13 but I mean, that's just the way of that series. First time I think that the home team has won in like 5 tries or something. So I
yeah,
mean, it's
it's
been
it's such a weird series,
a
man.
weird go. So it's a great series. A lot of dislike between the two schools, and yeah, Iowa State. I mean, 3-0 on the season. Um, you know, doing what they needed to do so far. And talking about the other team they played in week 0 in my Big 12 champion, damn, they're terrible. I mean, they not only lost to Iowa State, which is forgivable.
Yeah,
Then they played North Dakota and took everything to beat North Dakota. And then what do? You lose to Army, who had just lost to Tarleton State the week.
yeah, it's
Man,
not
might
a,
be a long year uh, in Manhattan.
not a good start at all for the Wildcats there.
No. Oof.
Yeah, rough start there. Uh, Another Big 12 team that's worth talking about, Baylor, a big upset win, double overtime in Dallas over SMU.
Yeah.
Good win for them. Way to rebound after their opening game loss at home against
Right.
Auburn, where they looked real kind of sloppy and like they had their chances, and they just looked like
I mean,
Auburn
the
really.
offense looked good, but they could not stop Auburn's running game to save their life.
No, they couldn't. And
But kudos to them. They kept fighting. I mean, they were down 14 midway through the fourth quarter, and I mean, it looks like SMU was rolling. They hit them back late, 2 scores, and then double overtime able to SMU missed their kick and a pick.
yeah, let's see if he
And
called it.
then
Nate Wiggins might have an interception here. Ooh, man, I don't know. Might have had his hand over
but I
that.
mean it was but yeah, I mean it was but that I don't know.
Yeah, we'll
I don't know
see.
if they're gonna give them that. But it's a tough loss for SMU because obviously you're up 14 in the fourth quarter. I mean, anytime you lose a double-digit lead, like 2 touchdown lead in the fourth quarter, that's tough. Uh, on top of that, what's the name? The quarterback hurt his ankle. It seemed like he hurt his ankle that last couple of plays. So it'll be interesting to see what his status is because
Yeah,
ankles are tricky.
Kevin Jennings.
Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, but I mean, it sucks for them, but I mean, it doesn't really hurt them. It's a non-conference. I mean, they're still very much alive in the ACC. Yeah, I think it was a bigger win for Baylor because you don't want to start off 0-2, especially with your coach kind of Dave Aranda kind of in a hot seat situation there. But
Yeah.
big win there, 100 miles up the road in Dallas from Waco. It was a hell of a game. It was a fun one. A lot of offense, a lot of points. Kind of what we expected. I had SMU at -2.5 on a lot of stuff bets. I think I put that in our column and did not did not it sucked for the money, but big win for the Baylor Bears. Um, and then let's talk about a team that I think they're gonna be looking for a coach soon. Keeping in the Big 12, Oklahoma State.
Oh,
Wow,
oh man.
They're- he talked trash about the Oregon program, and you know, yeah, that got ugly quick and often. And was it 69-3?
69.
Jeez.
It's one thing to lose to Oregon in Autzen. No, nothing wrong with that. But oh man, get absolutely dominated like that. Like you said, a week
Wow.
after you were, Mike Gundy was talking trash about how much Oregon paid for its roster. Da 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 da
Yeah.
da. Man, that's a rough look.
Yeah.
That's a rough look to go out and lose like
You
that.
have
And
to think
he's got to.
that as bad as things were last year, and things don't look much better this year. And
No,
it's been a long time, but man,
man,
you
you
have
are.
to think that this might be the time when he might be one of those dudes that steps away mid-season, honestly.
I
If
about to
things
say
continue on.
things have to turn around rapidly right now. They have Tulsa on the 19th. So they get a bye week, and what's that, a Thursday, I think.
Mhm.
Maybe a Friday, I think.
And for him, and
Yeah.
I don't know. After a game like that, I don't think there's anything worse than a bye week
Yeah, you kind of want to come
because
back out
your
and
local
put it
your
behind you.
local media has 2 weeks to talk shit about you.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
And I,
That's
I get like I mean there's not going to be the national attention because it's Oklahoma State, honestly, and so I mean it's going to not, it's not like Alabama where the national attention is going to be there. But no matter what, Oklahoma State has a proud program, a proud athletic program. It's going to be a tough 2 weeks in Stillwater.
yeah. Yeah, they
No
better come
question.
out. They better blow Tulsa out, and then they better
Yeah,
start their Big 12 schedule on fire because
yeah, because
you,
it's going to end quickly for Mike Gundy. It's
his
been
margin for
tough to learn.
error is now gone. He has no
Yeah.
margin for error, and it is a shame in one respect for a guy who's really been the face of that program and has done great things with that program to go out on a note like that. But
Yeah,
you dig your own grave, and Mike Gundy has certainly done that so far. So he
yeah.
needs to.
Because it's one thing. It's like one thing. If you're winning with the way Mike Gundy is, people tolerate it. Even they might not like it, but they'll tolerate it.
Yeah,
But you're losing and you're getting your head knocked off. That shit that's not gonna fly. People don't like that that brash attitude when you're losing
yeah.
badly. So that's gonna wear it thin there. But it's kind of like I think his time's kind of in, kind of like Gary Patterson at TCU. He
Hmm.
made TCU what TCU was, but just got away from him in the end, and they needed a new face. I think that's kind of how it's going to go in Stillwater.
Yeah,
So,
all good things come to an end, and sometimes, yeah, it just
yeah,
gets to a point where you just need a fresh
because it kind of
perspective on
it
things.
kind of got ugly there in Fort Worth with the end of the Gary Patterson. A lot of
Yeah,
things that weren't pretty. Very un TCU like, and
yeah,
but things happen. Then it's hard to when you've been the coach for so long, it's hard to keep it fresh, honestly.
mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, and, you know, and in this day and age, it's not very common to see a coach at a school that long like he's been.
No, yeah, um,
So, I mean,
yeah. It's
it's gonna
certainly,
be interesting.
yeah, it's something to keep an eye on there.
Yep.
As we talk about, yeah, teams at rough starts. Their in-state rival, however, pretty good first couple of weeks. The Sooners, big win at home
Oh,
over Michigan last night, and that offense is looking like everything Sooners fans hoped it would be so far. Yeah, John Mateer looking
That's one.
every
John,
bit the
very,
part.
very
Yeah.
John Material. Like, yeah, exactly what you wanted to see from them. And the Sooners, they basically this was like the reverse of last year's huge first game against Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
It went so terribly wrong. It was a great atmosphere going into the game, and they just got
Yeah.
annihilated. And it was the exact opposite. The same atmosphere, but they answered the bell.
Yeah.
They came out hot, went up 14-0 quick, and held on. And John Mateer, did his thing. People were like, "Oh, the Michigan defense, he's not going to be able to run against them."
Mm-hmm.
He had a solid game. Still ran for 70 some yards, couple through the air. Looked like everything, yeah, like you said, everything you would hope for from him,
Mm-hmm.
he's accomplished so far. So, I mean, the Sooners, of course, have one of the toughest schedules in America. I don't know who they pissed off coming into the SEC, um, and you couldn't ask for more of the way to start, considering that their coach definitely came in the season on the hot seat, especially because they're going to have a new AD after this football season who has no
Mm-hmm.
ties to him. So he really has to show that he's worth his while to keep his job. But did everything you could hope for in a big week 2 matchup.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Um,
they get a little bit of break. They go at Temple, kind of weirdly, but playing in Philadelphia next weekend.
uh,
So that'll be
yeah,
a little bit of respite. For
yeah,
them, Michigan will try to rebound. They host Central Michigan. Although, not didn't look terrible. Didn't look bad in the loss. Bryce Underwood certainly has shown the flashes of why he was such a hyped and coveted
right,
recruit. And he definitely put in his effort, but he also looked like, a true freshman at times. And
yeah.
in a environment like Norman against a defense like that,
It's kind of
it's
happening.
tough. That's a tough ask for a freshman.
It is.
Looking ahead to next week now, it's a few big games out there. Georgia plays at
It's a,
Tennessee.
yeah,
Georgia team that's looked sluggish so far to start the year.
yeah.
Only
Took
beat
a while to play,
Austin.
but it was Austin P.
Yeah, what 28-7 or something yesterday. Just not a very
Yeah,
impressive game. They haven't looked explosive on offense
no,
yet, and that's something that definitely
no.
you're worried about as a Georgia fan going into a hostile environment in Knoxville. A Tennessee team is itching to beat Georgia. Those fans,
Oh man, they
they,
have.
it's
Has it
been,
been since like 2016 or
I
was
believe,
that the last?
was it that Hail Mary? Uh,
Yeah, where
in that,
Georgia scored and they answered right back.
yeah, in Athens, is
I
that
think
Hail
that's the
Mary? I
last
think that's
time.
the last time Georgia, Josh Dobbs, right? I think that was the last time that
Yeah.
Tennessee has beat the Bulldogs. So they'll be hungry and a
Oh,
tough
wow.
defense they have up there. So that'll be a tough test for the Bulldogs there.
It seems like they've got the best so far. The definitely the best of the QB swap.
Yeah, UCLA has looked terrible, and
Yeah,
Nico has not looked all too great
no,
either. So yeah. Where else did I have my schedule here? South Florida, we mentioned they go to Miami. South Florida now ranked number 18. They go to number 5 Miami.
you'd have to think they get ranked this week, right?
Yeah. He
At
downed it.
least
He downed it at
25.
the one. That is not a touchback. He downed it at like the 1 yard line. That's ridiculous. No,
What?
no,
You said that's a
no.
touchback? No
Yeah, that is
way.
not a touchback.
No way. Review that shit.
He's got it right here. He's got it. That ball is downed. Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, but we have some very yeah. I mean, just in the SEC alone, we
Yeah.
have interesting games. I mean, Alabama, Wisconsin is just because of the SEC Big Ten game.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, we have Georgia, Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
You and that, of course, Ole Miss, Arkansas
Mm-hmm.
might be an interesting one. And I mean, over the years, they've had some classic matchups.
Yeah.
Um,
Vanderbilt
Ole
travels to
Miss had
Columbia for South Carolina.
is that is it? Wow,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a big game. I mean, Vanderbilt went in. to Blacksburg and beat the hell out of the Hokies.
A big second half. Virginia Tech leading for a lot of that first
Yeah.
half of that game, and all of a sudden, second half, yeah, Vanderbilt just whooped their ass. Rough start for the Hokies. They didn't look great in that opening loss to South Carolina in Atlanta either.
They hung up for a little bit. It was
Yeah,
10-8 for a long time, and then
yeah,
that
they just
that punt return
could never. Yeah,
ended
that
them. But
really
yeah,
sealed it, and they could never get anything going offensively.
the offenses look pretty bad.
Mm-hmm.
You'd have to think, man. Brent Pry's time in Blacksburg is probably very close to being done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he is very.
Seems like a great guy, but yeah, I mean, great guys. That's only get you so far.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like a good dude. Um, yeah, but I mean, yeah, that'll be an excellent game. We get a Texas A&M Notre Dame game in South Bend. I mean,
Interesting. Yeah, interesting scheduling for the Irish. The opening season loss at Miami, and then a bye week to come back with this big game.
yeah.
Um,
And I think you know, the Irish. I mean, I thought I thought the quarterback for being a true freshman. I thought he looked good for the most part. Um, for Notre Dame in that Week 1 loss. I mean, it just
it,
I think Miami.
I was
You know,
My question for Notre Dame in that loss was, you had your freshman start. You said he looked good. Like I agree, but they didn't really lean on the run game they had as much as I thought they might. And granted, Miami's defensive line is really good. They look good. But Notre Dame's supposed
yeah,
to have one of the best, if not the best, offensive lines in the country. So
right.
you would think with a freshman in a hostile environment, that you'd
Run game
want,
would be your friend.
yeah, you wanted to get Jeremiah Love and blanking on the other back's name right now, but you want to get them a lot more involved, and especially Jeremiah Love, just
Exactly.
lean on him, workhorse.
I mean, he's a star. I mean,
Yeah,
it's not just your running game. I mean, he's one of the best
players in
running
the
backs in
country.
America.
One of the best players
Yeah.
in America. Period. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't he
So
the
yeah,
highest rated guy in the NCAA game too?
I think so.
But but yeah, so that's a big one. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that matchup.
And of course, we have the LSU Florida game. I
Yeah.
mean, that'll be huge as well.
Mm-hmm. Um,
But yeah, I think for me and that's Notre Dame game is just what are they? Who are they? The Aggies haven't really played anybody yet. I think we're gonna find out a little bit about them. Going on the road there. They got dominated last year at home. How do they respond to that? And on the other end, how does Notre Dame respond from a tough loss to start the year? Back at home there. So I mean
mhm.
that'll help out. But I really right now I don't know what to expect from that game at all.
No.
I
Yeah.
mean I would assume a low scoring defensive kind of game, but who knows? Um, two young quarterbacks there. And that's the same with this LSU Florida game. I mean, you could look at it and say, well, obviously LSU is going to win because I mean, you just saw Florida lose to South Florida. But this is a game that's had a lot of big, interesting games over the years. Um, and for obviously, if Florida's playing their best game, they're going to be right in that game. And
Mm-hmm.
LSU, you know, the defense has looked really good. The offense is being okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know what to expect from that game either. Honestly, I I have no idea.
No, you talked about how this is going to be a season that we judge week to week, um,
Yep.
and that's certainly going to be the case next week too. It's 1 week at a time until we really figure out who everybody is, and maybe we
Well,
don't. Maybe it's just a 2007 S season where every week
yeah,
everything gets
yeah,
flipped on its head.
exactly.
But
It very well
yeah,
could be that.
um, anything else big you want to touch on college before we talk about the NFL real quick before we go?
Oh, let me think. Um, Trying to think if there was anything else. Um, no, I think we covered. covered most stuff there, but
I mean, yeah, there's probably little one hitters real quick. Shout out to Tulane. They, of course, one of the favorites as the group of five teams coming in this
yeah,
season. They hosted Northwestern beginning the season. They wanted to dress in the same uniforms that, it's the 20th anniversary of Hurricane Katrina, and wanted to
yeah,
dress with the same uniform that team wore that year in their first game. And so it required a white jersey, and Northwestern, the road team gets the say or whatever, and Northwestern declined Tulane's request to use the white jerseys, and Tulane took it personally. John Sumrall, the great quote
yeah.
after the game, said, "Sometimes when you disrespect the city of New Orleans, you run into it." Which someone who used to live down there, hell yeah, loved it, and they went out
Hell yeah.
with Northwestern.
Hey, you would think that
Yeah,
that's just an ass. I don't know. That just seems like a real asshole thing. Like
yeah,
it's not that hard to play like you play in your home jerseys. Big deal.
yeah, and they've since come out and apologized for it, but yeah, like yeah,
Yeah, but I mean that's something that you just
yeah,
play in
you
your home
deserve that ass
jerseys.
whooping you got. Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, you're only
But that
apologizing.
does remind me
Yeah.
that because I was looking at the week three, who Tulane and Duke, but kudos to Illinois because I thought that was going to be a much closer game than what it was. In that second half, especially the fourth quarter, they just beat the hell out of Duke. So
Mm-hmm.
maybe Illinois is.
Yeah.
I see Duke ended up being a decent team. It was back and forth in that first half, and they took it to them.
Yeah, and that's one of those games Illinois needed to kind of go out there and prove that they deserve their high ranking and deserve to, be in the college football playoff talk. And they went,
Based upon that, they
took care of
said,
business, and now, yeah, Duke's got an
yeah,
interesting game as they go to Tulane this week.
yeah,
And, Darian Minza going back to his old school.
yeah.
And Tulane looking really good. Hey, got scared in Mobile yesterday. South Alabama took it to the limit.
Yeah, they did. They did.
But
Oh, and one of the Mizzou Kansas game.
Oh yeah, that was a
Man,
man. We both, I think we both picked Kansas in the points
the cover
to cover. Yeah,
should have.
and the pick and
They
they
were there. I mean, they were up. They were up
20,
late in the fourth.
and up 21-6 at one point, and then up late in the fourth. And Missouri just
They had that touchdown, and they hit that busted that what was it, the 70-yard run there at the end to
yeah,
go up 11. And I'm like, well, shit.
yeah. I'm like, hey, what happened, man? Like,
Yeah,
I was looking at the score, and all of a sudden I'm like, all right, good. And then next thing I know, I'm like, wait, when did Missouri win by 2 scores? Like, what the hell here?
yeah. They had they busted a 70-yard run.
Yeah, it's
It's just
crazy.
like,
But good win for
yeah,
Missouri. Tough loss for
yeah,
Kansas.
yeah. It's good to see that game back. Hopefully, it comes a yearly thing again.
Yeah,
Because
exactly. It's good to have those.
2011 was the last time before yesterday we saw that.
Yeah,
Let,
exactly. And
let them play every year. I want to see the hatred out there. It's good.
exactly that is one. If you know your history, that is based on some real life hatred. And
Yeah.
those two
Oh yeah.
universities do not like each other.
From the
Those two
Civil War.
fan bases, yeah, do
Yeah.
not like each other. That is
And the Missouri fans, had some colorful words for Kansas yesterday.
hmm
if you,
yeah. But yeah, I think we basically touched on everything. Week 3 looks schedule wise
yeah.
looks to be a little bit more exciting. We
That's
mentioned,
the beauty about college football.
mhm.
Week two on paper looked terrible, but
But yeah,
we got some great things. But that's the beauty of college football. When things look the bleakest is when you have some interesting things happen.
yeah, and all of a sudden things turn around, and you're like, oh, okay, like before the season, you looked at the schedule and you're like, well, this game didn't look like much, but now all of a sudden you're like, hey, man, there's some. This is
It's a
interesting now.
big game.
You look at some of these
Yeah.
games, you're like, oh, these things could get spicy. All of a sudden, this Clemson visits Georgia Tech next Saturday, and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
hey,
Wow.
now, that's a
Yeah.
little interesting. Georgia Tech, of course, they opened their season with a win at Colorado.
Yeah.
Was it at or was yeah, it was at Colorado, right? Yeah.
Yeah. They went to the Boulder and won. Yeah.
And now they're 2-0, and they're playing. They play a hard nosed football. Poor what's his face Haynes King, man. They're just gonna run him ragged. Uh,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. They are. Yeah. That game is very interesting. Yikes.
Yeah, that game came
Because if
very interesting all of a sudden. Yeah.
yeah, because if Clemson starts off 1-2, whoa,
Woo. And 0-1, yeah, in ACC play there. That's pretty
whoa,
huge. You know, you got speaking of Colorado, they bounced back with win over Delaware. Now they travel to Houston in a big Big 10 or Big 12 opener
that's
on
interesting.
Friday. That might be a game to certainly put your eye on Friday night.
Yeah, for sure,
But
for
yeah,
sure.
and then another, of course, big one next week. Backyard brawl, Pitt and West Virginia at 2:30. That's always a fun one.
Mm. Yeah, West Virginia after their loss, wasn't it? They lost to Ohio
To Ohio,
yesterday.
yeah, went to Ohio, played the Bobcats there, and then lost to them.
Wow. Yeah, they need that. They definitely would love to get that because it's not a good. That's not. I mean, I don't think anybody's overly shocked because Ohio's a consistent program, but still not a good look anytime you lose that type of game.
No, yeah, and of course, oh wait, how did Buffalo get the ball? What did I miss here? Oh,
Fumble.
oh
You guys
no,
fumble. Yeah.
that is not good.
Jesus.
I just looked up and Buffalo's
Yeah.
at the 1 yard line.
That's the one thing with these great NFL teams until the game's
Mm,
over.
yeah,
I mean, we're
right.
about to have a tie.
Mm.
And we're about to. They were just up 15, and
Yeah,
now,
it was literally just a 15-point lead, and last I looked, Lamar had a big run on first down,
yeah.
and then I look up and Buffalo's completing a pass to the 1 yard line. I'm like, wait, what in the hell
Mm-hmm.
happened?
Yeah,
Good,
you guys
damn,
fumbled.
hell of a catch by that tight end there. But yeah, so yeah, let's talk about NFLs right now. We're watching, of course, this great Ravens Buffalo Week 1 game. As James Cook, did he get pushed in there? Nope, stopped on second down. Your Cowboys, great effort Thursday night. Fell short though. A very ill-timed Miles Sanders
Typical
fumble.
Cowboys game.
Yeah, but was that better than what you expected?
No, I mean no matter what, we seem to show up for big games.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it was the same heartache at the end. I don't know if it's heartache at this point. I'm kind of numb to it. I almost expect things to go bad. I think my biggest disappointment is CeeDee Lamb dropped three balls that may have
Mm-hmm.
changed the game completely there. Oh,
Yeah, that's rough.
some of his drops, I was like, dude, like, yeah. But the effort was there. I mean, I thought the offense you know, looked looked a lot more fresh than what it had been as of late. So I like that. I think if we just continue to get Pickens involved in the offense there, I think offensively will be should be great week to week based upon how the defense was before the rain. After the rain delay, our defense really got. But I don't know if that was us or the rain delay that kind of threw off the Eagles.
Yeah.
Um, a mix of both. But it seems like a lot of weeks we're gonna have to score a shitload because the defense right in week 1 anyway couldn't stop a nosebleed when it was just back and forth and back and forth. We couldn't stop Jalen Hurts to save our lives.
No, yeah. Jalen,
He looked like
Eagles looking every bit the Super Bowl champ, except for Jalen
yeah.
Carter.
Oh my goodness.
Getting
Yeah,
kicked out the
that was
game.
wild.
Yeah, that's first thing,
Yeah.
spitting on Dak. That's crazy. What is with that,
Yeah.
man? And then in the Florida game, man, y'all stop spitting on each
Yeah.
other.
Like that's to me that's one of the most disrespectful things you could do is
I
to spit on somebody.
My wife watched that with me and saw that, and she was like, "Did he just spit on him?" And I looked at her. I was like, "That might be like one of the very few things that, like, if somebody did that to me, like, you would have to bail me out of
I'm just
jail."
fight. You just have to fight automatically. Like that's just your immediate reaction.
Yeah, that is absolutely like, oh, Ravens stopped the 2-point attempt.
Most disrespectful thing. One of the most disrespectful things you could do there.
Yeah, absolutely, so disrespectful. I'm like, nah, like, just absolutely not, man.
Yeah.
But
But
yeah, I thought a good effort from the Cowboys, and of course,
yeah,
I'm sure it
I
hurt
mean,
to see today Micah Parsons come out, play a great game in Green Bay,
yeah, he had got a sack.
Yeah.
His three pressures, the quarterback led to a sack, an interception, and yeah.
Yeah, helped Green Bay
But
shut down that Detroit offense. Big win
yeah,
for them to start the season.
big win for them. Yeah, I mean that they dominated Detroit, and recently Detroit has dominated Green Bay. So yeah, I mean that for the Packers, that was a huge win.
Hmm.
Uh, um, that Friday night game was fun.
Yeah,
Kansas City, and
Chargers getting a win over the Chiefs.
that's big. I mean that's a
Hmm.
the they have had the Chargers number for so long, and always tight games. But Mahomes always found a way to finish it off.
Hmm.
Not maybe we've seen it. I don't know if we'll see a changing of the guard, but I mean, if you're a Chargers fan or hate the Chiefs, I mean, that was one you really enjoyed watching, just because it's been such a dominant run of the not only the NFL, but I mean, the AFC West has been the Chiefs division for how long now? Like, not even any questions asked.
Hmm.
And so, now the Chargers have you know, I think they got the right coach in there. I mean, Harbaugh is going to bring a
Yeah,
swagger.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, absolutely. They retooled their roster a little bit this offseason. Um,
and Herbert, his big thing was he looks good for 3 quarters, but
hmm.
he's had kind of had that Dak thing. You look good, and then in the fourth quarter you do something dumb. He closed out the game. He had a huge run on 3rd and 9, or late there, and they look good. They didn't let the Chiefs do what the Chiefs usually do at the end of the game there. So
Hmm.
kudos to the Chargers. They got past their nemesis, and we'll see, of course it's a long season. I mean, of course everybody overreacts from week one, and there's 17, 16 more weeks. So, but you couldn't ask for more from that. Um, and then the takeaway from today has been so many missed field goals and point afters. It was just crazy today.
Yeah, kicking is it's funny. Kicking seems like it's at an all-time high in college and looking a little shakier than usual. And the pro game,
Yeah.
Young Hoon Koo missed a big kick for Atlanta
Oh,
today to tie the game. They lost to division rival the Bucks, Tampa Bay.
yeah,
Big opening win for Tampa Bay. Division game. We talk about
right.
that.
But yeah, I mean, that's a 44-yard kick.
Hmm.
I feel like I feel like NFL kickers, anything within 45 should be pretty automatic, outside of crazy weather.
Yeah, and especially a guy like that. He's been a solid kicker for so long. Did kind of have a couple questionable misses last year too, but then that wasn't. It wasn't even like a, oh, he just hooked it. It was a bad kick. He really pushed it.
Yeah,
Didn't have a good
right,
spiral to it or a good rotation to it.
right.
Um,
So,
yeah, another. The Bengals, as usual, looked sloppy in the first week. Tough game at the Browns. I was a fool and took
dude,
took the
what happened to
Bengals.
the offense in the second half? They just died.
Just died, and they held on.
They had like 36. What they had like 36 yards of offense in the second half. I mean, it
So
was
terrible.
bad.
Yeah.
I mean, and Cleveland probably should have won the game. They missed the field goal, missed the extra point. They
Mm-hmm.
lost by 3. That's 4 right there. So,
Mm-hmm.
yikes, that's another field goal. But yeah, the Bengals. I guess the positive is they didn't lose. Like that's their biggest thing is they start off down so bad that they make these pushes at the end, but it's such uh, a wall to climb. They put themselves in these bad situations to start the season.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess the one takeaway they at least won the game because usually they lose that type of game.
Oh, looks like Buffalo's going to get the ball back here. A chance to win. No
Man.
timeouts, but stop the
And then
Ravens 3 and out.
what was I gonna say? Oh, the dude, I think Tua's time in Miami is gonna end pretty quickly.
Oh yeah,
That was
I just saw the
bad.
score. Did he look? Did they just rough him up today, or another injury? What happened there?
I didn't see a whole lot from it,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean, I saw people talk about it. I have some friends that are Miami
Mm-hmm.
Dolphins fans, and dude, Tua is terrible.
Mm.
And yeah, yeah, It's just the fact not only did you lose, but you lost to a Colts team, and Danny Dimes looked pretty good out there. I don't know if that's him or the Dolphins yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, they got
But
whooped by
if
the
you're a
Colts,
Dolphins,
man.
it's a tough way to start. And they got whooped by the Colts with Danny Dimes.
Mm.
So
So yeah, it might be what Mike McDaniel's time too coming there.
mm,
Things looking rough for
I
Miami
think it's
right
going to be a
now.
lot of changes there in Miami if things do not turn around quickly. That the Steelers game was wild.
Oh, crazy! Yeah, Aaron Rodgers looking
Steelers Jets
like Aaron Rodgers again.
very yeah. Oh yeah, well 4 touchdowns,
Four
over 300
touchdowns,
yards
is
passing.
22 of 30. Yeah, so like making big
That's amazing.
plays. Not looking timid like he kind of did last year.
Yeah.
Uh,
The Jets play well as I mean,
yeah, they play well. Couldn't finish it. I also saw the Raiders win and Pete Carroll's debut there over Mike Vrabel's debut. The Patriots.
yeah,
Cardinals win, ugly win in New Orleans against a team they,
yeah.
probably should be beating a little more than that. Commanders look good, dominating win against the Giants.
Yeah. Be
Jaguars,
interesting to see how long they go before
they switch to Jackson Dart.
um yeah,
Hmm.
because that Russell Wilson for the whole season is not happening.
Nah, yeah, I don't think. I
Not
think it'll be
happening.
probably a quicker yank
Maybe
than we
Sunday.
expected. But
Yeah.
get get him. All right. Hey, no, his forward progress stopped. Keep that clock winding. Uh, Yeah, Jaguars, pretty easy win against the Panthers. Talk about a team that did
Kind
not
of
look
shocked that
good. Yeah,
yeah, I was kind of shocked that they looked that bad. But
yeah, strong. They finished last season with some momentum. Broncos, good win at home over the Titans. 49ers, good division win to start the year in Seattle.
yeah,
We mentioned that big Packers win, and then the Rams beat the Texans. The low scoring affair there.
ugly game.
Yeah, ugly.
And
Of course, it's,
they
the big ones are
Tex,
the prime.
Tex
Yeah, the prime time ones this week are really the real big ones.
have lived. Yeah, I mean they're all. I mean, so far the three. And we'll get a fourth prime time tomorrow, but
Hmm.
so far the three prime time games that lived up to it. I mean, outside of that rain delay, the Cowboys Eagles game was everything you would hope from the first game of the season.
Hmm.
You know, the two rivals. You saw the hatred. Then Friday night's game, interesting on YouTube completely, but
Yeah.
great game. And then tonight's game has lived up to everything you would hope that the Bills Ravens game is. And we'll see what Bears and Vikings looks like tomorrow.
Yeah. I'm interested in that one tomorrow night because two teams kind of, the J.J. McCarthy era official. Oh, what are you doing, 23? Yeah. Oh, that's what's his face. That's that
Oof.
Jair Alexander. Oh, man.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
that's not good right there. Yeah, shake your head. Oh, man.
Oh
Now a good loss starts. I mean, it's whatever. It's week one. But now you don't want to blow a 15-point lead as quick as they did there.
no,
Is that put that not quite field goal territory, but very close to it for Buffalo now?
right, right on the verge of it.
Yeah,
Jeez,
need a turnover here.
that's tough.
He might be in field goal territory
Good.
even here. Need a couple
It
plays for
might be.
loss
Yeah.
here. Need a sack.
Oh yeah. Definitely need a sack. Something. Jesus.
Strip sack would be great, but no. Instead, we're going to give up touchdown. Oh no, tackled him at the 10. Well, yeah, it's looking like a Ravens loss here to start the season. That's rough.
Mm.
That's Josh Allen, though. I'm sure there will be a lot. Oh, Jair Alexander Bill again. Oh, rough debut for him tonight. Sure, there will be a lot of overreactions to however this game ends.
Oh, absolutely.
But yeah,
Especially considering how last year's divisional playoff game ended, and then this.
yeah.
And, yeah.
But yeah, we'll see.
I'm sure we very well could see this game again in January.
I about to say yeah, these two teams are going to be back in January.
May see each other again there.
Yeah.
Um,
But both teams have looked very good. Offenses have looked very good, for
yeah.
sure.
Well, the biggest thing, yeah, I mean, if you're Baltimore, the biggest thing, but you're up 15 in the fourth quarter, and I get it. I mean, it's, in today's NFL, when you have a good team like, I mean, Josh Allen, plenty of time, you got
Yeah.
till the game's over during the game, but 15, boy, that's tough.
Yeah, and it's one thing, the fumble's one thing, unfortunate, happens. Uh, I think a lot of more scrutiny is going to look on that when they had the ball, chance to ice the game, and they went really conservative and
Yeah,
chose to let Buffalo, use their timeouts instead of really going for a big play, getting a first down and
yeah,
icing the game. So that's where I look, because on third you end up with a third and long. That's no good, and then you throw a route that's a yard or two short of the sticks, and
yeah.
that's you gotta put more pressure on Buffalo. And then of course the defense getting up these big plays now, and Buffalo's going to get a field goal attempt with.
I win the game, no time.
Yeah, Baltimore has their timeouts here, so they'll be able to take. Let's see. It looks like Buffalo will probably
That's
run a
tough.
sneak here, get on second down. Baltimore take another timeout, and Buffalo will be able to run down the clock.
On the clock out.
Oh no, they won't actually,
But they're
because they're out of
they're out
timeouts.
of.
So Buffalo. Yeah, interesting to see how Buffalo plays this year. They probably.
I'm sure that they'll probably spike it.
Well,
And run
that's the
here.
thing though, because they'll run second down here. Baltimore will call a timeout,
Yeah,
and then third down.
yeah.
I guess maybe they will. They might even like do a sneak. Oh no, they're going to line up. Yeah, they're going to knee it here again. Baltimore is going to take time. Is John Harbaugh not going to? Okay, yeah. Baltimore takes time out. I imagine they'll knee it again on third down here, and then rush the field goal team out there. And Baltimore have to hope they get out of rhythm. But yeah, fun first week in NFL too. Fun first 2 weeks in
Yeah,
college.
absolutely.
Yeah, baseball's pennant race is starting to heat up now. Yeah, it's one of the better months in the sports calendar.
Absolutely.
This first month, I'm excited. Anything else from World of Sports you want to touch on before we go here?
Um, no, I think we covered a lot of stuff there.
Yeah.
A lot of man, you know, big, big week 3, man. I think week 3 we might start you know, tell us a lot about certain teams. Certain teams start. I think week 3 and week 4 is when you really figure out maybe who teams are for the season in college football. A lot of time, I mean, maybe not necessarily, but you know, man, your Florida Gators, you go down 1-2 on the year. Oof, that's rough. Or you know, you bounce back and get that win, and everybody is hot on you again.
Ooh.
That's the thing, man. Everybody will beat you up this week, but get a win, and everybody will love you the next week and build you back up again. The media loves to do that.
Mm-hmm. Ravens almost blocked that one, but Buffalo does get the win here.
41.
Yeah. Tough
Oh,
loss with Ravens. Not good to blow that lead that late, but again, this is one. Scoring 40 points in Buffalo in opening weeks, not a bad thing necessarily.
yeah, but the one thing, yeah, you would hope anytime you score 40 in the NFL
You
that you're
win,
getting a
yeah.
win. That's tough.
Yeah, it's tough.
Wow.
Big win for Buffalo. They're happy, obviously, and could be huge down the line if there's some home field advantage.
Yeah.
You know, consequences there. So we'll see.
But,
John.
sometimes I think Baltimore plays better on the road in the playoffs. 'Cause when
Sometimes,
they're at
but
home,
man, yeah,
I've seen it at times where they look, where they, was it 2 years ago when they had that home field advantage against the Chiefs? They look really, I don't know.
timid. Yeah, a little too relaxed. Yeah, there is something about that Baltimore team, but ooh man, yeah, that was close, man. He almost got in there
Yeah.
to block that there,
Oh man.
but well, them's the breaks. But thanks everybody for listening. As always, check out the AlabamaTake.com. Lots of stuff going on there, of course. Our weekly bets column. I think I went 2-2 this week. I guess you went 1-3 now because you had the Ravens tonight, right?
Ravens at -1. It's
Yeah.
looking good.
Yeah, and then looks so Blaine and Mal both have Buffalo +1, so I think they both that'll make them finish 2-2. So 3-2-2. So like I said, I foolishly took Cincinnati in the first game at Cleveland at that, which I should have known that they were going to look like shit. But as
And
always,
that's the thing with
go ahead.
the Bengals. They got supposedly all their issues taken care of.
Yeah,
They signed everybody, and it seemed like everybody was on the same page finally. And man, yeah, that's not how you wanted to have that second half go.
well,
But
that's just what
it is.
happens when you play the elite Joe Flacco.
Oh, absolutely.
But yeah,
But
check out the AlabamaTake.com, y'all. Do give us some likes, subscribes, ratings, all that good stuff. Tell your friends about us. Tell your rich friends about us. Businesses, holler at us for sponsorship. Anybody can be a sponsor. We'll sell out. We don't care. Like I said, AlabamaTake.com got a lot of great stuff going on. We do our weekly picks column, of course. Keep up with that. If you're in either of our pick'em groups on ESPN.com, of course, make sure you check out standings, get your picks in every week. I had a much better week in our group, the spread group this week, and I had a good
how do you look?
I had a good first half of the day in the other group, but kind of second half bombed. Kind of bombed the second half of the day, so I didn't do as well.
Yeah, I was just looking at our picks column. All my losses are so tough. Oh man. I mean, SMU should have won by 2.5.
Mm-hmm.
Kansas should have covered, and
Mm-hmm.
Baltimore shouldn't have lost a 15-point lead.
Mm.
Imagine if those other things they hit, and I'm sitting there with a whole bunch of money on the line waiting for Baltimore to finish things out.
Mm.
How sick would you be
Oh man.
on the ticket?
Yeah, I'm sure that absolutely destroyed some parlays, and then
Oh,
made
absolutely.
maybe another one or two hit. So
Yeah, I hope somebody hit. But man, great way to start the NFL year. The funniest thing though is the NFL overreaction, like it's not 16 more weeks to go.
right, yeah,
That's always the best.
uh, yeah, rough loss. Stuck on that now. But yeah, like I said, check out all the Alabama Take family of podcasts. Always good things going on there. As always, keep it done up real good yourselves out there, folks. And Greg, buddy, I'll see you next week.
Yes, sir.